Hello, everybody. This is Gerald Celente, and it's Wednesday, September 21st, 2022. And we're very honored to have with us Judge Andrew Napolitano, the number one man in the world when it comes to judicial authority regarding our Constitution, our Bill of Rights, and how we're losing them and what we need to do to get them back. So thank you very much, Judge, for being here today. And I'd like to discuss with you what's going on with this Ukraine war. It's really heating up. And as you well know, the cover of our Trends Journal magazine back 2 days before Russia invaded Ukraine was COVID war, Ukraine war, world war. And there it is. So
Right.
Thank you very much, Judge, for being here. And now that war is heating up.
It's a pleasure to be with you, and the cover you just showed is as brilliant and eye-catching and attention-grabbing as all of the other covers that you do. You're a very, very gifted colleague that does all of those. But the war in Ukraine is taking a twist and a turn that nobody expected. The Ukrainians have captured about 2,000 square miles, according to Colonel Doug McGregor, on whom you and I rely for military advice, on whom former President Trump relied when he was in the White House and Colonel McGregor was in the Pentagon, has said it's actually harmful to Ukraine to waste its manpower and materials on defending those 2,000 square miles. He's also said that the Russian offensive will now push them way back. Look, the Russians will win this war. The Ukrainians simply do not have the person power or the military equipment to win it without NATO on the ground. Now, NATO on the ground is World War III, which of course is catastrophic and absurd, and only the globalists in the State Department and in Western Europe really want that, just like only the globalists in the State Department want us to fight a war against mainland China for the absurd reason of defending Taiwan. But back to Ukraine. Putin may be a butcher, but he has a far, far stronger military and bottomless pit of resources to hurl at the Ukraine than the Ukrainians do, and he'll ultimately prevail. That's McGregor, and that's our other colleague with whom you and I were privileged to share a stage at your rally for peace in July, Scott Ritter. So what is the American government doing? Prolonging and enhancing and increasing death, destruction, and agony in a fruitless, useless, from perspective of American national security, fruitless, useless war. Again and again and again. We did this in Vietnam. We did it in Afghanistan. You could probably count virtually every war we fought since World War II has been fruitless, useless, and not directly or even indirectly related to national security.
And you left out murderous.
Murderous. Absolutely.
And when you call Putin a butcher, look at the butcher, the Bush butchers,
Yes.
George Bush Sr. and the little daddy's boy, the little moronic little clown, George W. Bush, mission accomplished Bush. We're going to get that guy, Osama bin Laden, quote, dead or alive, destroying Afghanistan for 20 years, killing over 1 million people in Iraq, costing us trillions and trillions of dollars.
Arguably worse than his father, for the reasons you just articulated. Millions of deaths and trillions of dollars for naught.
For nothing.
No, because daddy killed my dad, because Saddam tried to kill my daddy. Remember that one?
Yep.
That's the reason we invaded Iraq. That's the reason he and Colin Powell and George Tenet and all the characters that worked for George W. Persuaded the UN and the Congress to allow him to invade Iraq. And why did we invade Afghanistan? To deflect attention from his inability, George W.'s inability, to defend and protect the country on 9/11.
Yep.
No American was prosecuted because
Nope.
9/11 happened on their watch. I don't want to get into the origins of 9/11. It was Saudi money, and Bush was shaking hands with and kissing some Saudi potentate at his ranch within weeks of this.
That's right. And how about what was 15 of the 19 people allegedly were Saudis that
Correct.
were involved with 9/11?
Correct. And we still don't know where all the money came from because the government won't reveal what it knows. Even the plaintiffs who have sued the Saudi government, a case that is alive and well in Lower Manhattan, a case that's actually going to be tried, what they have discovered about Saudi money, they are prohibited from revealing to the public and to the press.
And so, as we're talking about butchers, let's not forget Bill the Murderer Clinton, that every time he got caught with his pants down, it was bombs away over Baghdad. The Bill Clinton whose sanctions killed over 500,000 Iraqi children under the age of 5. And
About which Madeleine Albright boasted as a cheap price to pay for democracy.
Yep.
What a despicable way to value human life of children as a cheap price.
So as we keep talking about the butchers, he also gave us the Yugoslav war. And let's not forget the other butcher, the Nobel Peace of Crap Prize winner, Barack Obama. I want that guy Gaddafi out of there. Isn't Libya a wonderful place right now? Oh, and how many? I want that guy Assad must go in Syria. We've only killed, I think it's about 675,000 Syrians are dead and about 6 million refugees. So when we're talking about Ukraine war and how the media covers it day in and day out, they never did this with the murderous Obama wars, Bush wars, Clinton wars. And then there's the other clown character, as you brought up 9/11, Jimmy Carter, the guy that gave us Al-Qaeda when it was Mujahideen to beat Russia in Afghanistan. And that arrogant clown boy whose son now is like an ambassador, Brzezinski, and the hatred that he sold. We forgot about that.
I've often wondered what it is about the psychology of presidents that they enjoy war and they enjoy killing. They must have achieved, I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm just a simple lawyer. They must have achieved such great power and prestige in their lives, and it's not enough for them. They have to go another step and show how they can exercise it. I once wrote a piece which you liked called Why Presidents Kill, and I concluded because they can get away with it, because it shows the macho, powerful people that they are. All of this killing from, I'm not going to get into World War II. There were some legitimate reasons for being involved and some illegitimate reasons for being involved. But from Harry Truman to Joe Biden, all presidents have enjoyed killing without consequence because they knew they could get away with it. And you have just articulated the most dramatic and costly examples of that because of the numbers of people who have died. And all of this produced the blowback that we now call 9/11.
And, there's another one, too. And when you said about the mental condition of these people, they're mentally ill. Dwight D. Eisenhower, 5-star general, supreme commander of the Allied forces, 2-term president, said any man seeking the office of president is either an egomaniac or crazy. That's a quote.
Well, he's probably right. And you and I could take the modern American presidents from Truman to Biden and put them in the two categories, egomaniac or crazy. That might be a fun parlor game to play at some time.
Yeah.
But we have created an American presidency so alien to what Madison and Jefferson thought they were giving us, We have filled it with the trappings of a British monarch, given it so much authority. You know, when the president, Joe Biden's in New York today, you know how many people are with him? 500. 500 people travel with the president of the United States. Doctors, lawyers, advisors, security, small army. It's just so out of proportion from what the Constitution authorized as a presiding officer over the executive branch who would see to it that the laws were enforced. The president of the United States has become a prince. There's no inheritance involved, but almost a prince.
Well, I would say a king. I mean, we just heard Clown Biden come out again on 60 Minutes. You mentioned Madeleine Albright, who said, yes, the price of 500,000 children was worth it, the death of them. She said that on 60 Minutes with Leslie Stahl. And then this past Sunday, we heard Biden bullshit that the pandemic is over. And as a matter of fact, it's the cover of our Trends Journal this week. You know, the stupidity of what is this guy, all of it, it proves that it had nothing to do with science. It's just political science.
Correct. It's over when it starts, when the government says it starts. It's over when it says the government says it's over. The government lies and the government cheats and the government steals and the government kills and the government gets away with it. So the subtitle of your front cover is that the midterms are coming. Of course, the pandemic is over, or the government will tell us the pandemic is over. I don't think